Nomad at Night, starring the one and only Nomad.
Yo, no maniacs, what's good? Good evening. This is Nomad at Night. I got my trustees with me. Canuck up at top and Chris Harris, Chris Harris Sr., Keith Harris Sr. I said Chris. We did have a Chris Harris, but hey man, listen, there was this has probably been the toughest 24 hours in my life as a Bears fan. Probably been the toughest 24 hours I've witnessed in my lifetime as a Bears fan. I was in Atlanta, living in Atlanta when the news about the Mr. Trubisky trade came in, and that trade up it and for people who don't know, if you've never been to Atlanta or never really spent significant time there, Atlanta is chock full of Chicago people, and Bears fans are all over the place down there. In fact, when we went and played the Falcons down there when I was there. And my good buddy Jay, he was a bar owner. You know, he's still a bar owner. He's got a bar, a sports bar, and a nightclub right next to each other. And I was doing food in the food business at that time, and he was real friendly with me. And he was just like, he called me Chicago. Hey, Chicago, man, I got these tickets for you. Come down here and watch the Falcons whip up on the Bears. And I'm just like, I'm game. Long story short, we went down there. And we never made it into the game. We was out there tailgating, drinking, and carrying on, cutting up. But that place was flooded. You hear me? Absolutely flooded with Bears fans in that parking lot. And what I ended up doing was making a lot of acquaintances and friends, and so over time, it was a cool experience. Long story short, when the Mr. Trubisky trade came down, man, I had people burning jerseys and just doing all kinds of stuff. My phone went absolutely nuts. My family was calling me from home. It was a crazy time. I wasn't here, so I couldn't tell you the tone and tenor of what was going on here. But just speaking to my relatives that were here, it sounded like it was a rough time. But from everything I'm hearing, this Justin Fields trade is worse than that for some people. And I could tell by the tone and tenor on Twitter. That's legit, man. These I wouldn't want to go shopping at the grocery store if I was Ryan Poles right now. But what we're going to do tonight, we're going to bury this. We're going to get our feelings out about this one last time about Justin Fields and how we feel about, what happened to him. And we're just going to open up a bit about it. Everybody in the chat, you can do the same thing. But when we're done with that, we're going to pivot. And this will probably be the last Justin Fields show we do, or even talking about it, because there's really no more need to. He's gone now, but how it happened, is I'm open to listen to everybody's thoughts, how they feel about it, and we'll start with the Canuck.
What's poppin', no maniacs? Yo, we started this show today and the chat was already banging. You guys are going crazy. I love to see the support out there. Especially given the scenario that we are now in, and that Nomad just alluded to with Justin being traded to Pittsburgh. Really, I appreciate all of the support that you guys have given us throughout this time, and the support that hopefully you guys will continue to give us as we continue to move forward without Justin Fields, with a new quarterback under center for the Chicago Bears. We'll continue to bring you, the best that we can, the best entertainment we can by way of our favorite team and the city of Chicago that we're in full support of. And I just want to sort of show you guys some love first and foremost before I really get into how this thing may have rubbed me the right or wrong way. Chris, I'll throw it down to you, my brother.
What's going on, everybody? It's a new day. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Thank you guys for being here with us. We appreciate your presence and your support. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, and share this wonderful content. Also, turn on your notifications. There's going to be some more breaking news coming, so we'll have shows up and ready. Like I said, it's a new day, folks. I'm still a Bears fan. I will be that way when they throw the dirt in my face. A little bit disappointed. I didn't understand the logic to it. I still don't. I still don't agree with it. But hey, if Caleb Williams is our new quarterback, just like every Bears quarterback before him, I will support him 110%. If it's Jaden Daniels or whoever, could be Joe Milton, but I'm gonna be rooting, guys, and hope this turns out the right way. Like I said, we're a divided family still right now, but this should give us some closure and allow for some healing, and we just move forward, man, and lift up our team. Keith.
Absolutely.
Well, good evening, everybody. How y'all doing? No Maniacs. Thank you all for joining us tonight. Definitely bittersweet day, but hey, guess what, y'all? We're still going to support the logo. We're still going to support the team. Again, I myself wish Justin nothing but the absolute best in his career. I hope that he ends up being the franchise player for the Pittsburgh Steelers if that's the case. With that being said, hey, it's a business, and that's something we got to realize. It's a business. I'm quite sure he knew it. He knows it's a business. He has stated it to himself at the end of the regular season. So bittersweet, but we must move forward. We got to pivot, as Nomad said, and we got to look and see what's next. What's next on Ryan Poe's agenda in regards to what he's going to do and who's going to end up under center at this point. I done said what I'm gonna say, and I'm gonna pass it on over to my man, Nomad. Take it away, brother.
Still with us, Nomad?
My bad. Allow me to. I'm gonna try to layer this conversation before we get out of it and pivot.
Because taking a nap, man.
No, I had it on mute, man. I think more information has come out since the last time we've done the show, and it appears, and this is Ian Rappaport's reporting, I think it appears as though there were 4 other teams that were after Justin Fields, and from reports, it sounded like those 4 other teams had set quarterbacks and starting quarterbacks that Justin Fields probably felt like, I guess, Poe's got with his agent, and his agent got back to them. It's like, no, I don't want to go there because they got established quarterbacks there, as opposed to Pittsburgh, who did not. So Russ came in there and ended up being, I guess he's going to be the starter going into camp, but I think it's going to be a competition. But just knowing the fact that there were 4 different offers that Poe's probably could have came up and got a better deal for Justin Fields. It appears that there were better offers than the 6th rounder. But in order to satisfy Justin, I guess do right by him, quote, they took the Steelers deal because that's where he wanted to go. That's being reported right now. Does it make better sense to you now, kids, given that situation?
Oh man, like you do this to me every time. I love you, bro. No, to be honest with you, it actually makes me probably a little bit more mad. To me, they're just trying to soften the blow, as the old Charmin commercial used to go, right? Like that's what this sounds like to me. My problem with all this has a lot less to do with, again, Justin Fields, the human being, the quarterback, etc. It now has shifted to how Ryan Poles has handled this entire situation. And in my opinion, he could have saved us all a whole lot of heartache and the fan base from splitting apart from each other if he just did this earlier into the offseason. 4 weeks, 8 weeks ago. If you're going to dump for a 6th rounder, dump for a 6th rounder 8 weeks ago. Who cares? You got nothing out of the deal anyways. There's absolutely no capital associated with this trade. Ryan Poles got fleeced again by Pittsburgh. So personally, I'm just upset that he didn't do this a long time ago. Right? Like that's it. That's it. He would have saved us all a lot of running our mouths and embarrassment for either side and egg on faces, emotions, etc. If it was as simple as I'm just basically going to get this guy out of my locker room so I can draft a quarterback. Who cares where he goes? Who cares what you get back for him? Do it 8 weeks ago. Chris?
Well, the problem with that is, again, it's the medicals. You have to wait until after the combine so you can make sure all the potential targets check out. They still haven't done
Except
that
you
with
got
Hayes.
nothing out of the combine via that means, though. But
Well, yeah,
I'm
you
with you.
did. You got Jalen's medicals, I believe. You got Drake
You
May's
got everybody
medicals.
medicals. Yeah.
You got
Except for the
everybody's
guy you
medicals
probably
except,
said, yeah.
except for Caleb. So that's that's what held up the train. So that makes me believe. I mean, they still don't have his medicals. So you
Again,
got
if you're going to do it and you're planning on doing it and moving away from the quarter, especially after you bring the you bring the head coach back, if that's your plan, just cut the cord. Just do it. Like,
well,
what's all the subterfuge? Who cares?
well, I'm not sure that he had made up his mind at that point. I just don't know that he'd made up his mind. And part of him making up his mind, and he's got to figure out some type of a plan going into it. So he's got to have plan A, plan B, plan C. So you can't give away too much. I understand the timing of it. I actually thought it would come later, but we don't know what he's really thinking. I mean, that's the whole thing. That's why this feud was so stupid, because nobody really knew. There were two choices that were going to happen. They were going to get rid of Justin and draft a quarterback, or they weren't. So, nobody knew. We had a side we were on, a side other folks were on, and the side that the other folks were on happened to be what happened. So then really the feud thing was kind of stupid because nobody really knew what was going to take place for Brian Poles. And so I get the timing of it. I mean, it's just information. They've got to have information before they can make a lot of decisions. And so
But they still didn't get the information, Chris. This is where I'm at.
No. They do have some information.
They have some information on guys they're likely not going to get. My simple point is just that if you were of the mind of drafting the quarterback and getting the quarterback you have out of the building, just do it. There's nothing to gain of this from who cares? You figured that out as you go. You evaluate the quarterbacks like you're going to evaluate the quarterbacks.
But part of the evaluation, the ultimate part of it, is the medicals. That's what I'm saying, kids. These guys can have congenital problems that have never been spotted before. You got to know that before you can make a major personnel move like switching quarterbacks. I mean, that's like
I hear you, but if the decision is to change quarterbacks and you must get the quarterback you have in-house out, you suss the medical situation out as you go. Get rid of the kid. Unless again you're trying to maneuver and make a move. Like in my mind, I'm super good with them trading Justin Fields for capital. You got something out of the deal. You wheeled and dealed. Subterfuge and clandestine moves. You did some things. You got something for the Bears out of it. He got nothing. Got a sixth rounder next year.
You're taking for granted that Justin was never an option. He said at the beginning of the process that he had to weigh his options. Justin could have still been an option. I don't think they said when the season's over, we're just going to get rid of him. He's gone. We'll go with Tyson Bagent. I don't think that was ever. He had to get information before he could make a decision on any of this. So I get what you're saying. We didn't get anything for him. We could have cut him, but he's got to gather some information. Unless Justin was never a possibility to come back, and I don't think that was the case. I think he was an option. He was just not their first option.
Hold on, kids. Before you fire back, let's go ahead and acknowledge these super chats right quick. And
Rock,
if you don't mind.
Yeah, man. Rock and roll. Let's get to him. Mitch Osborne.
There's a pick me up too.
Oh yes, indeed. We all need one, as per Mitch, right? We all need a pick me up. I firmly believe the local media helped tank Fields' trade value by saying things like, "We should cut JF1." J Hood. For that reason, we must support networks like this. Bear down, no maniacs. The future is still bright. Right on, Mitch Osborne. You're a real one. You're a real no maniac.
So I'm talking about.
You're
Mitch.
A guy. I love you, Mitch.
Oh, the dude's giving you props, Mitch. That's some real.
Mitch. That's love right there.
Let's jump over to my guy Thomas Basemore. Could you imagine what draft nights? Could you imagine what draft night going to be like? It's not going to be the same because this organization simply simply failed Justin Fields. I kind of hear you. I'm not going like by this time, like by draft night, I'm going to be hyped to see whatever they do. Right? I'm not going to. This is a turning point, and like this episode of this show tonight for Bears fans, this is a turning point. We all have to move forward from here. So let's get all the BS out. Let's get all the feelings out, and and allow ourselves to move forward with the new quarterback. I don't want to go into the draft this season harboring ill will towards the organization under any pretenses. Again, I believe Ryan Poles did the right thing as far as what he, where his heart is and what his belief is by way of this team and how he wants to build it. So I'm going to support that. As far as where we are today, I do have some feelings about how we got here and how we're going to get there.
Well, kids, let me, because we're going to go right back to you because you and Chris got into a back and forth there that made me now
No,
there.
I think he realized I was right.
No, it's good, Chris. It's good.
He realized I was right.
This is what I want to throw in there because I think there's a possibility that this is a career-saving move only. It's a career-saving move only. Two, there's a possibility that, and I've seen this happen too many times. I talked to Chris about it earlier today. He didn't really know what to think about it, but he knows it's possible. Could ownership? We've seen that happen just last year in Carolina. Could ownership have swooped in and said, you know what? We need to draft this quarterback. We need to trade Justin Fields. Could that have happened? Was this a career-saving move? What do you guys think about that?
Let Keith go. He ain't said nothing yet.
Keith is over there doing something.
Oh, brother, I'm just taking my notes because I've been trying to make sure I stay on task with this, brother.
I hear you, man. Appreciate that.
I'm gonna say
Old
this.
people unite.
That is true, my brother. That is true. I'm gonna be very honest here. There's a couple different things here that I think that we need to really touch on with regard to the whole decision. First and foremost, I find the timing very suspicious, to be very honest with you. I say that because I feel that there's a lot of pressure that has been coming from not just the national media, but primarily the local media with regards to, I think, has something to do with some of Justin's value. Um, but more importantly, I think this, as Nomad said, and you actually took my what I was going to say originally, which is I felt that Poles made a safe move, which was a career saving move for him, because it was either make the playoffs next season with Justin or buy myself a couple years with a rookie. Therefore, he took the greater move, which is he don't want to give up the job. He got mouths to feed, and it's a lot safer to go ahead and say, you know what, I'm going to draft a rookie, whoever that may be, and buy myself some time here. That's my take on it. But more importantly, let's talk about the whole medicals issue. All right. So I'm going to jump into that because I'm with kids when it comes to the whole thing about the medicals. With regard to, first and foremost, if you knew if you was going to move away from the kid, you could have did it way earlier before the combine, which I think if he done it then, he'd have got he got way more a greater value for him. I think he could have gotten a third round pick, maybe even a fourth. Instead, he held on to him, and that was more, I'd say, on a greed part, thinking that he could really, really leverage himself to get more, Justin. But what ended up happening, it backfired on him, and other teams said, "Hey, wait a minute. Why should we do? Why should you do? Why should we do you that solid?" And the media didn't help the matter either by using words like, "Oh, he got a haul last time. Oh, he fleeced the Panthers." So with that being said, nobody wants to be considered a haul or being fleeced. So they say, okay, well, we're going to play your hand some. If you're going to definitely trade him, we're not going to offer you a one or a two. We'll start out with a three. The longer he waited, they came down to a four. To the point where, at this point, because everybody else has started filling their roster spots with veterans and getting their backups, hey, only thing that's left is the six. And I think Pittsburgh threw him a mulligan and said, in the event that Justin ends up getting the lion's share of the reps under center, we'll make it a conditional fourth. to help Ryan Poles save face by not making the move way earlier in the process. Again, as much as I'm a Justin Fields fan, I understand it's a business. I'd have much preferred had he did it earlier to get as much as he can or could. To that way, you say, okay, we get it, man. Hey, you could not pass up a deal like that. And for that, yeah, I understand why you traded Justin. But to wait this long in the process and only walk away with a six, which in all honesty, Pittsburgh controls all of that because hint hint, he could be doing very well and be right at that cusp of crossing over to where they get that conditional fourth and then oh wow. He got to hit the injury list
Well, they're
and
not
now
going to do
all they
that.
get is
They're not going to do that if they're
I'm just
winning.
I just got to throw a conspiracy theory out there. I can't
Yeah,
help myself.
but
I got to make it fun
if
tonight, man.
Pittsburgh is winning with Justin, they're not going to throw the season
No, no,
just
no,
to
no.
save a
I
fourth
get
round
it.
pick.
I get it. But come on,
But
Chris.
see,
Chris, can I have a little fun?
I'll let you had about 20 seconds worth. I had to spoil it. Listen, I'm telling you, y'all are still speaking under the assumption that Justin was never an option. It's like the season ended and he knew he was going to get rid of him. I don't believe
No.
that. I think that.
Let me hit this King Booker World super chat real quick
ahead,
there.
man.
King Booker World, love you, brother. Again, original No Maniac, $2 in. They might have to trade some 2025 for some 2024 capital. And I wish the man was wrong with those four picks and basically one dedicated to a quarterback. They might have to sacrifice some stuff from next year. I can see it.
My thinking has shifted to still trading at number one. I still think there's a possibility.
We're gonna get to that, Chris. We're gonna get to all of that just in 1 second. And so here's the last thing I want to bring up about Justin Fields. With all the feelings that are out there, man, it's still pretty fresh. It's a fresh wound, man. And it's gonna take some time, it's gonna take the fan base. But I want to say a super shout out to my girl Remy. Remember that it's not Ronetta, it's Remy. It's Remy. I saw her going through the struggle this morning when I got up and looked on Twitter. I'm telling you, man, she's struggling just to get here and support us. But that's how much love she got for us, man. Because she declared she was done with Chicago.
I heard Remy was a Steelers fan.
Hey, man, she is not playing. I know when I'm reading her stuff, she is not playing. But she brought it and got within herself and got enough strength within her to come here and support us. So, Remy, I just want you to know I really do love you and appreciate you for that because you was good enough to come in here and make sure you showed that support. Remy, I love you, sweetheart. But
Remy, you're a real No Maniac. I caught a glimpse of that too. You're not alone though. There's other like a guy like Suntorse 9. Suntorse 9 been chopping it up in these chat rooms for quite some time, right? Like me and Nomad kind of met in these chat rooms originally, and guys like Sun and Bear Truth 9 as well were floating around. And Sun was feeling it yesterday. He was basically saying, "I'm just about done with this whole Bears situation." And there's a lot of fans out there reeling and feeling very similarly. But I think I think we kind of got to give Ryan Poles a little bit of the benefit of the doubt and see what he does with all this because we're all baked in one way, shape, or form. I'm definitely baked in. I have my Bears gear on every day, Doc. That's what I'm that guy. So I'm going to follow. I'm going to make sure that I give him the support that I feel that he deserves. But at the same time, this is career defining, right? Ryan Poles, this is career defining. Much like some other coach said, I don't remember who it was, but he basically said that he was going to draft a quarterback, and if he fails, he loses his job. And if the quarterback is successful, nobody cares, right? Like he's good to go. So hopefully the quarterback is successful, and Ryan Poles keeps his job, and the Bears are successful. That's more or less where I am with this whole thing.
So, fellas, here's this is the last thing I'm going to mention about this. I've been doing so much Caleb Williams and Jaden Daniels study today and late last night after we got done. I understand kind of what the is there a possibility that when Ryan Poles came into this situation that he had, and I can remember him coming to the situation. I believe Caleb Williams was still at Oklahoma. I think their plan was to get a quarterback eventually anyway. It's starting to feel like that, and and based on the moves that happen around Justin Fields since he's been here, it feels to me like they had plans on getting another quarterback eventually because they had money to spend last year, and they really didn't. After that tear down season, and then last year, it's like, okay, why ain't he spending a little bit more money protecting them up front, getting them a better line? Why aren't they doing any of that? You know what I mean? And it starts to feel to me like maybe the plan was to get another quarterback in the first place, but we need to get to that point. So I don't know if that makes any sense to you kids or any of you guys on the panel, but it starts to feel like that looking in hindsight.
Makes perfect sense to me. Basically, you need a quarterback to be and a coach. I'll put it on Matt Eberflus too. You need both of those guys to be the face of failure for a couple of years while you tear the Ryan Pace era out and start to usher in the Ryan Poles era. So he decided to retain the coach. Coach is still here. That's Matt Eberflus very clearly. And he's flushed out the quarterback. Quarterback was the face of all this, took the brunt, looks absolutely terrible. And again, I'm not going to say that he has absolutely no fault in all of this because I'm like he does. He's got some mechanic issues. There's things that Justin needs to work on. But Ryan flushed him out, and that's the reality here. Kind of needed to have a scapegoat.
While you're still there, we might as well do Gladiator Channel.
Big Gladiator, $20 from the brother Gladiator. Thank you.
Shout out
There's
Gladiator, bro.
break my heart, but I'm hoping Caleb can ball out. That's where we are. And like I'll take the name Caleb up. If a different quarterback, hopefully the evaluation has been sound and they've made their decision on who that guy is. And whoever he is, he's the guy. I fully expect it to be Caleb because from what I've seen, the kid is magic. So hopefully that's where we are. And like to continue from where I left off, I have a strange feeling that Ryan Poles was always gonna draft Caleb Williams. A little bit contrary to what Keith might have been saying earlier, but right along the lines of where you're headed there, Nomad. He may have come in here just considering it all, going, okay, well, I know that my quarterback will be available in X amount of years. He'll go through university. He's already making noise, and he'll go through the college ranks. We'll see how he does. Oh, he's doing great. Yeah, that's my guy. All I need to do is evaluate Justin Fields and see if he if he rises to the occasion, which unfortunately he was never able to do. And here we are. It could be just as possible that Ryan Poles had that QB and very specifically Caleb Williams in mind.
Probably the world will never know.
No, well, I'm sure he won't be telling anybody.
Hindsight is a beautiful picture, man.
It's kind of moved at this point. He's definitely going to move on from Justin. We do know that. So the next question is, who will it be?
Who's it going to be?
And so we'll let Keith respond to that. What I said. If you got any thoughts on it, go ahead, bro.
Yeah. With regard to that, I believe that he probably did have the idea of possibly, drafting his own quarterback at some point in time. Justin would have to really have balled out to tilt the scales in his own favor to remain as the face of the franchise. I mean, of course, let's talk about the elephant in the room, which is Caleb Williams. I don't want to go as far as to call the kid magical. I'm not going to do that. He does have some unique abilities, but I don't want to use that word magical because that's going to place a particular.
I'm with you. A little bit of expectation.
Expectation. Thank you for helping me out on that, kids. You know what I'm saying? But the kid does have some really great things that he does he shows as a quarterback. But I will say this: I just think it's something else in the works here, and that's what I was leading to with regard to timing and the medicals before. I think there's something else in the works here. I could be wrong, because I definitely was wrong with regards to the whole with Justin, staying aboard. So I'll wait till we get to that because I know Nomad is going to get us to that point, and then I'll elaborate on that when we get there.
Okay, so let's be totally above board, and honest, and be big boys and put your chest out when I say I'm gonna put my chest out when I say this. We were totally wrong. We had it totally wrong. We absolutely misjudged Ryan Poles and his way of thinking. We could have been just as right. You know what I mean? But we were wrong. And so everybody that wants to take a victory lap, go right ahead, man.
No, man, let me say something, man. We weren't wrong.
Well, we did get it wrong.
Thank you, Chris.
No, we said what we thought he should do. I never thought I knew what was going to happen. I know what I thought he should do, and I still believe he should have did it. I think there's more value with Justin Fields and the picks you can get from number one than taking any of the quarterbacks at number one. That's what I've always said. So I wasn't wrong. We'll see. Both things could be true. I mean, we could trade Super Bowls with Pittsburgh for the next 10 years. We might win one, they win one, and we play each other 10 straight years in the Super Bowl. Then we're both right. But we weren't wrong because we thought that would happen. And that's because we thought that was what should happen. That's what we wanted to happen. That doesn't mean we were wrong in our thinking. Nobody's wrong. Only people are right is the people, the 50% that said they thought that's what would happen, and that's what did happen. So
maybe I should have said we guessed wrong.
Well,
maybe you should have said because then you're speaking for you and you're not speaking for
Chris. Do that too. I'm a big dude, bro. I can handle that.
Listen, it's all the results aren't in yet, guys. What was right, what was wrong is not in yet. If we get Caleb Williams and we win a Super Bowl, then we were partially wrong. If we get Caleb Williams and we win the Super Bowl and Justin flames out in 2 years and's out of the league, then we were wrong. I just don't think Justin Fields with that type of rare talent, and we've all used that term. Everybody on both sides of the pendulum have all used the words rare talent with Justin, and I've always said, when you got rare talent, what do you do with it? You trade it? No, you coach it. So,
well, you know what? And it's funny you say that, Chris. We weren't wrong because I'll tell you why we weren't wrong. We started out with this because we took a stance because we didn't like the treatment that young man was receiving within the local media. So if you want to say we were wrong because we felt that Poles was going to keep him, you can say that, but we didn't necessarily say Poles would keep him. What we stated was we felt that he should have been treated better and given the opportunity to at least have the opportunity under this particular coaching that now that they own the accountability that, hey, we didn't get that part of it right, and allow him to at least the 1 year to prove that he deservingly should be the face of the franchise. So with that, I will say this. I still feel that Poles could have handled it differently. I felt that because of everything that Justin was drafted into and dealt with for the past 3 seasons, he earned an opportunity to at least have this year with this new coaching staff. I felt then as an organization and Poles would at least say, okay, that's showing that we know that we didn't do right and we made some mistakes. And because of that, we're going to give you this opportunity. But since he chose not to, then he's still not fully taking accountability. He just decided to save, to save face and say, okay, the lesser of two evils is to go ahead and draft a rookie quarterback.
Well, look, hold, I can't admit to saying or being wrong on this front because game 3 this season, I stopped and I said Justin Fields needs to play better or Ryan Poles will draft Caleb Williams. That's game 3 this season. I knew this was coming. I said it was coming early on. All the way through this whole thing, I've been watching Caleb and saying, you know what, Caleb's from a talent perspective, I can't compare these two guys because I personally feel talent-wise, QB arm mechanics, etc. Caleb may be more advanced than Justin is. He's definitely, in my opinion, more advanced than Justin was when he came into the league. My stance on all of this was really and truly rooted in the holes that are on the squad. we're still left with those holes on the squad. And I'm just interested at this point to see how Ryan Poles decides to fill them. As per King Buka World's earlier quote or earlier post, his super chat there, we might have to dip into 2025 to make, to fill those holes in 2024. We'll see. Again, we'll see what happens. I'm all for Caleb if that's who we go with. I'm all for Jaden Daniels if that's who we go with. I'm a little bit less for Drake May, but I'm more for JJ McCarthy. As long as there's a plan here, I'm with it. I'm also the guy who said I'd be happy if he traded him to the Steelers for their 20th pick. I also said that about Atlanta with the 8th pick. That was me.
Our team is so good at jumping the shark. Man, you guys just take it off on me. But let's get to Vic Perez's super chat.
Big Vic Perez with the $10 super chat. Love you, Vic. Love you guys, he says. Do you think Poles didn't trade Justin Fields earlier since most of the teams in need of a quarterback were in the NFC and didn't want to have to face him? Though disappointed, Bears fan forever.
That's what's
Bear
up.
down.
That's what's up, Vic.
Vic, that's a really, when I read that as soon as it came in, and I was like, man, that's a really good question because maybe that's why, right? I'm kind of sick of fishing for excuses for Ryan Poles. I just want to see results now. So when we get to the draft, we're going to see what
strategically what Vic's saying is pretty. It's got to be a denominator. You know what I'm saying? It's got to be a denominator where you trade him and why. You know what I'm saying? That's got to be layered into that equation.
Well, considering we're not playing Pittsburgh next year, it definitely was layered into the equation. So now we don't have to see Justin at all, which is probably the smartest portion of this entire trade. I don't know what to say. Again, you got to get him out of the room. He's got to go. If that was the decision that you've come to, if you've come to that decision as a GM to go and get your quarterback, go get him. And I'm fully behind you. I'm fully behind you. But my little 2 cents on this is, if that was the decision that, if that's where you thought you were going to go, just cut the cord. Get the kid out of here, man.
Well, how about this, man? Because this is the end. Period. The end. We got to pivot here. I'm gonna say some things right now to you guys that I don't know if the fan base is ready to receive them, but I'm gonna say some things that I hope that's gonna get you a little bit more excited about what's in front of us. And that's in regards to the quarterbacks that are out there that can be drafted here. It's going to be 1 or 2 guys, in my opinion. I don't know. I'll be honest with you about Drake May. What I saw on film, and be quite frank with you, and I told Chris this, I think I told him this privately. I like Bo Nix more than I like Drake May. Be quite frank with you. Just comparing the tape, I think Bo Nix is a better looking quarterback and a better looking prospect to me. And he's 3. I think the more pro-ready quarterback is Jaden Daniels. However, I believe this thing is fast moving towards they're going to take Caleb Williams at 1. And here's the good thing that I can tell you guys about the situation. Now, as much as I love Justin Fields and what he brought to the Bears, and I do believe in him and what he'll bring to the table in Pittsburgh, here's the glaring difference between Justin Fields because everything else pretty much is the same. They both are big game hunters. They look for the deep ball and they hold on to the ball a little too much, trying to get that accomplished. Here's the thing that really stands out. Now I'll take you back to what I said last night about Kerry Joseph being asked about what he's looking for in a QB, and that's a quick release. That's a glaring, when I say a glaring difference, it's like night and day. The way, as fast as that ball comes out of Caleb Williams' hand, as opposed to Justin. Why is that important? Because in this league, the way they set up the screen game as an option to kind of off balance the defense, you need to be able to deliver that ball a whole lot quicker than Justin was able to. And so, not trying to, cast aspersions on Justin right now. What I'm saying is what we can look forward to in the event that I do think they're going to take Caleb at 1. Unless Washington comes up with something really ridiculous. And I don't know what they're going to come up with, but there might be a time when Poles just absolutely does what he said when he, when he was interviewed in press row. at the combine, and he was like, if you're sold on this particular player, is there a point in time when you just absolutely stop hanging up the phone? And he said, absolutely. And so if they're sold on Caleb, I can tell you right now, the way this thing is set up, there's good reason to believe, and quite frankly, whether we believe it or not, it is set up for him to be successful right away. And so by saying that, what I mean is we have pieces around him. We have a couple of veteran receivers that are excellent at route running and getting open. That's perfect for a rookie quarterback. Should we temper our expectations about getting to the playoffs in a rookie's first year? No, I don't think so. I think we should expect that if you thought that Justin Fields, you were getting an upgrade, basically, is what you thought. This is what Ryan Poles is thinking. We're getting an upgrade at QB, and we think that with the team assembled around him, we think that we can make a playoff run. And that's the expectation. And I'm not trying to unfairly burden this young cat with expectations. It's just what it is. You know, I mean, it's not me. It's not this network. I believe that what they have going on and the way this thing is currently assembled, there's no reason why we shouldn't make a playoff run based on the what we did last year. What's got to have to happen is Caleb Williams, who I think is going to get drafted here now, is going to probably have to get with Keenan Allen and DJ Moore right away and start working on some chemistry. Once they got that down and Cole Kmet and everybody, I think we can do better than you might imagine for a rookie. But it's again, he's a rookie, and I do temper my expectations a little bit because he's a rookie. He's gonna run to some snags and big ones. But there's no reason to believe that with his dynamic that he brings to the table, that quick release, they could probably make more plays with Caleb Williams in that kind of setting in the quick game. So I do believe there's reason to be hopeful right now. I do. I really do. I'm not saying that because it's time to move on and we need to start supporting the new quarterback. I'm saying that because I believe it. I think he does bring something to the table that we aren't necessarily used to as Bears fans.
Hey, Nomad, can I say something real quick? I didn't mean to sidestep you kids, but I see Just B327 in the chat, and they're flying I believe that's a Washington Commanders W, isn't it?
Is it right?
Is that right?
I haven't seen it.
Okay, well, I was just curious to know maybe they can tell us how Washington and their fan base is feeling about all this. And just, I'm really curious about that. I saw they put up nobody talks about Caleb's fumbles. And I just wonder, what does Washington fan base want in all this? I'm sure it's got to be Caleb.
Yeah, I don't know if they're going to get it.
He's the homeboy. He's a homeboy. He's the most celebrated quarterback, coming out of college in years. I mean, you would think that they'd be starving for that dude.
Chris, can you imagine if the Bears are sold on Caleb Williams? What would they have to give to get up and take Ryan Poles off of that?
Well, you know what? It's mouth-watering to think about.
It hasn't been in the mock draft. We haven't seen what they're going to have to give up.
What's good in the basement?
To go to number 2, Nomad?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we have seen that in the mocks.
No, I don't think that's sufficient, bro.
You don't think 2 1s and 2 2s is enough to move up one space?
2 1s win.
2 1s. We were talking about the number 2 pick, a number 1 pick next year, both number 2s in this year's draft. And we've even talked about a player, but that wasn't in the mock drafts, obviously. But you don't think that I would jump straight on that?
I don't think a 1 next year. I think you got to do something this year. I think you got
to. No. I said you're going to get number 2. That's a number 1 pick.
Right.
You're going to get 2 2s this year, and you're going to get a number 1 next year to move up one spot.
I think a player.
Well, we talked about that, but in the mock drafts, you don't see players getting swapped out. We've talked about Dotson, Allen, who we can't get because he can't fit under the cap unless they do some serious.
How about this, Chris? You want to take a sneak peek? You feel like doing that?
Give me a couple of minutes.
All right, let's take a sneak peek at what it might look like now, given the circumstances that that.
I'll go ahead and do this. The station ID.
All right, go ahead.
Best Chicago Bears content anywhere. Catch Nomad live pregame 1 hour prior to kickoff, and Nomad at Night postgame, and every Friday evening at 7 p.m. Central on all the most popular streaming platforms, and only on the Nomad Network.
That's right, you guys. Don't fret at all, man. I can't tell Bears fans how to be Bears fans, but what I can say is we got to find a way to look forward, and we can't just give up on each other because things didn't go quite the way we wanted them to go. I mean, I'm as disappointed as anybody in the world right now, but I have to temper, how I feel about everything given the situation, and we've got to move on. We don't have any choice right now. But I don't want people to get discouraged and feel like, okay, I'm done with this, done with this team, and done with the support. What's going on, kids?
Can you just put that nano CBD back up there for me, please? Yeah. So we're wrong. Chicago Bears content equals Nomad. Wrong. Chicago Bears content. I just want to put that out there for no nano CBD. Now that we've got that out there, you can go pound sand, bro. Cool. Sand pounding.
Nano, man, I don't see what the.
Well, I'm just saying he wants to have his victory lap. You can take your victory lap. I've announced it for you publicly. According to Nano CBD, Nomad admitted he was wrong, and that's what a big actual man does, guy. That's what a man does. Somebody who actually owns his mistakes and learns from them if they were mistakes. In this case, I can't even really call it a mistake. He had a feeling and a want, and it didn't come true.
Nano, I
Boom.
don't take any of that, the wrong way, man.
Man,
people.
you know what? You ain't got to explain it. Because
I
apparently
want to.
Nano CBD is searching manhood still. Because if you acted like a sophomore, and I said this for all these people in Twitter land and everywhere else, if you're acting like a sophomore, you must be one.
I'm not.
I'm
I don't
just
worry.
like
Everybody's free. Everybody's welcome to their opinion, man.
Yeah, but just be respectful. You don't have to, not to be an idiot.
I'm not gonna trip about none of that, man. But
oh, you all cuddly now.
No,
Right. All
you
of a
all
sudden
nice
you want to
now.
be soft.
Hey, look,
and who are you? And where is the old
please.
Nomad?
Hey, look, I was trying to get to. Hey, I appreciate the No Maniacs for keeping up the support. We're still sitting here with 300 plus people.
300 live in the chat, yo.
So we
keep it rocking, No Maniacs.
What's that telling us, guys? They're not giving up, and what they need to be is encouraged as to what to look forward to. Because there's absolutely a chance that and keep the likes and subscribes coming, man. We really appreciate all the support. But there is a world where absolutely Pose could be absolutely right. He could be absolutely right. He could be dead ASS wrong too. I'm gonna keep myself open to the fact that like we said, we say this all the time. Whatever he does, we'll support his decisions, right? Until we can't, right? And so he's chosen now to let Justin Fields go and draft another quarterback. And so I'm gonna just get on board with it myself and try to find a place within me to support this guy. I don't think it's going to be that hard because at the end of the day, we got to. It's not one of those things where it's a possibility that things can be different. No, this is what it is now.
This too shall pass.
Yeah, it shall. And so but let's see what you're looking at there, Chris, man. Let me see.
All right, let's go on up here. I'll go down here where can't nobody see me. There you go, Keith. You better looking at me anyway, bro. All right. You want to run 1 round, 2 rounds, run the whole thing, or what?
What y'all think, fellas?
Just 2 rounds, bro.
I'll tell you what, we can kill it anytime if we want to kill it out.
What do we got? We got up to what?
We got the first. Let me see. Well, I'm gonna have to restart it. Nobody offered us a trade at 1. Let's do it again. See if we can still get a trade. They might have updated it since then. And there we go.
Okay, so look at that.
So,
Go ahead,
so
Chris.
we have 4 picks: 1, 9, 75, and 122. Okay. And let's see what we're being offered here. Denver's office is 12, 76, 1, 2, 3 next year. We got 5 more. There's Washington's pick, number 2, number 36 and 40, number 67, and a first rounder next year.
See what I mean, Chris? Now that's a whole lot more generous than when we did it before.
Well, it was 6. No, that's the same thing. That's the same exact trade that they've offered. They upgraded. Believe me, Nomad. You know, I know this site.
I know.
3, 34, 68, 1 and 2 next year from New England. Let's see. Minnesota wants 11, 23, 108, 1 and a third next year. They crazy. And Vegas 13, 44, 77, 1 and 2 next year. I mean, is the obvious choice is number 2, correct?
Okay, so how about this? Let's pause and talk about that number 2. Let's just stay right there. And let's go. You know what? Before I talk too much, let me let you guys get your take in on what you think about that situation right there.
Well, it's changed a wee bit. I mean, now that we don't have Justin, but I still can't argue with all those picks and the second choice at quarterback, which in this case probably would be Jaden Daniels. So, I mean, Washington, obviously, we still feel like they would want Caleb to, hometown boy to come back home and do good, save the franchise, make everybody a bunch of money, and we get a bunch of picks. So, you know how I feel about it. I think we can ask for one more and get out of it. Matter of fact, I know we can.
Do you think you can get one more out of this?
Another pick, I'm sure I can get 108 from him.
What y'all think, kids? Let me see what the fellas think.
I know we can get 139. Let's say 139. You guys feel good with that?
You're really going to take this trade?
Stop playing Madden. Draft Caleb Williams.
You might as well just draft the kid. Like, let's just do it. We're
going to play that scenario out too, man.
Listen, we can do that. We can draft Caleb if you guys want.
Take the extra pick.
I kind of want to see what that looks like more so than the extra pick. Like,
it's okay. It's going to take about
look at Muck is already hell now.
Take the extra pick.
I think we take the extra pick. I mean, if you guys want to play it with Caleb,
take the extra pick.
What do you think, guys?
I'm just trying to say.
Take
I'm
the
just
extra pick, Chris.
Hey, so how do you feel about that, man? How do you feel about that, kids? What does that look like to you?
So let me just answer your question. Here's what it looked like. It looked like a really good trade. Potentially, if I was the GM and I wasn't sold on a specific quarterback, I would take this trade. I have a feeling that the GM is sold on a specific quarterback, mainly because he just dumped our quarterback. And that quarterback could be Jaden Daniels. It could be Michael Penix Jr. It could be any of those guys. But I'm pretty sure it's Caleb.
Yada makes a good point. The 9th pick is also going to have some
like that's what I would do. I would pick Caleb Williams here and try and wheel and deal our way through the rest of the draft from there. I think that's a more realistic exercise than doing this again, because I don't see Ryan Poles doing this. I just don't
play both scenarios out. I just want to see what everybody thinks about this move.
Hey, I'm in agreement with you, Keith, but for the sake of something different, let's see what happens. 1, 2.
Keith look like he about to doze the hell off.
He might be already.
All right, so go. So
Chicago, we drafted Caleb Williams.
Yeah, man. Jaden went second. And here comes the drafts. We got 3 offers, 14 and 45.
I like it.
21, 55 in the second next year. 13 and 77. That one sucks.
Hey, I'm being quite honest with y'all. This is where I will take the pick. I would
for sure.
This,
you almost have no choice.
You mean trade the pick?
No. I'm taking this pick.
Oh, you're taking it? You want?
Yeah, he wants Fuaga.
No, not necessarily. Not at 9. Not at 9. I'm more Brian Thomas Jr. here.
Oh, you crazy, dog.
I'm more Brian Thomas Jr. right here.
You got Rome Odunze right there. You're gonna jump over Rome when you can trade back.
Brian Thomas Jr. on better than I like Rome Odunze.
But you could get him at 14 and take these picks.
What do you mean 14?
There's
You're
the
looking at
trade right
14,
there.
bro.
I don't think he'd be there.
You think?
Well, I'll tell you what, Nomad, he will be.
Well, you probably would know, wouldn't you?
We both know 100%. You know, we both know.
I told him that anyway. I mean,
you know, we both know for sure.
I'm just throwing my opinion out there. You do your thing, Chris. Whatever.
No. I'm not going to do my thing. We're going to come to a consensus. But since we did say we were going to trade the 9th pick, I mean, if it's me, I'm probably taking Verse. To be honest, you can get a wide receiver down the way.
It could be a possibility, man. I don't know
what
they think.
I think both of those players will be there for
class, or they might go with the extra.
They might be. You maybe, but this picks up the second that we don't have.
That's why you do it.
Keith, you good with it? Keith? Oh, Keith.
Keith dreaming.
I'm sorry, I was on mute. No,
we're going to trade 44. We're going to trade for 45 and 14. All right, here we go.
Hey, Slick, I don't do too many mock drafts, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Drake May fell to 10. Dunze went at 11. So both of the players we talked about are still on the board. Only two offers we got are 33 and 39 for 14.
You don't take
21 and 55.
Let's see what happens.
Take the trade?
Yeah, that's what you said.
No, I'm not in favor of taking the trade. I think it's, we got to get some players. We got one.
So okay. So we just took the 14 and 45 trade. I'm not sure if you were paying attention, Nomad. We took it. We could take this 21 and 55, and now you're chancing Brian Thomas Jr. We're definitely going to lose Jared Verse. So, Chris, what do you want to do here?
We're going to lose both of them.
That's what I'm saying. Like, we're likely going to lose both.
We're going to lose both of them. We're going to lose Bowers. Let me see. That's 8 trades away. All these players will be gone except for Johnny Newton, I would say.
I know. I agree.
So I think we got a decision to make. We're looking at my choice here is Jared Verse.
Hey, you hear Leo right there, Chris, right?
Show us the board before you trade next time. Oh, that's right. We got people watching, don't we?
Yeah, you all into yourself right now.
Okay, my bad, Leo.
Me too, Leo. Usually I'm knee deep in the chat at the same time as I'm doing this. Right now, I'm like,
let's just run through it real quick.
Front facing center into this draft.
Here's our top offensive players. I don't want to do them by position yet. We still got, well, maybe I will. We got Bo Nix, 30th. Benson. We got Thomas Jr. Coleman. Coleman, he'll fall past that. I mean, Latham. I mean,
don't debate too long in your head, man. We got a show to do because we'll lose people.
Well, this is it. There's a guy I want. I want Jared Verse there.
I knew it. Go ahead and do it then.
What do you think, guys?
We got 2 old ASS receiver. Well, 1 old receiver, man. You taking Jared Verse?
Yes.
Dude, that dude's getting ready to be 33.
We have who's playing across from Sweat.
We'll find somebody later.
Yeah,
man.
we just already did. We got the best pass rusher, possibly Khalil Mack 2.0, right here.
So here's where I'm at. Like I'm gonna argue with you on this one, Chris. I know Jared Verse is really the right guy for that position, but if we don't select a wide receiver here, the wide receiver talent drops off heavily at pick 45, before pick 45.
Big time.
Not really.
Yeah, it does.
Oh, what do you mean? You're like,
not there.
Okay, all right. If you're thinking about
stop question.
Let me see the picks. Click on my picks for me, please, Chris. So such slim pickings, sir. Like we could look. Okay, let's go, Jared. Let's go, Jared. Forget about it.
Oh no, I don't know what y'all.
Keith.
What we're doing is we're getting Xavier Legette at 75.
Yes, sir.
That's what I'm saying. We're talking going Verse here, man. You good with that? Nomad wants to take Brian Thomas Jr., definitely. But I'm thinking this is the better value.
I agree. Yeah, all right, value, man.
You've been overruled, man. Shut up.
boy, oh boy.
Fatanu, J.C. Latham, who I love. Jackson Powers Johnson. There you go. Went at 22, man. We could have had him with that 22. Dang. You know I like Brian Thomas Jr.
Me too.
That's 4-2-1.
I like him and Worthy, man.
Keon Coleman.
I'm a fan too.
Sanat. Yeah, there's my guy. All right. We got one trade offer, 76 to second. Nah.
Not worth it.
Nope. Okay, let's see.
Oh boy.
Troy Franklin,
So,
Malachi Corley. Our next pick is 75. Let's see.
Go back to all for me, please, because we got Jordan Morgan right there. We can replace the left tackle situation, and we got Zach Frazier right there. We can replace the center. I'm going to throw this at the chat. Chat, center or tackle. What do you think, guys?
I know Chris wants to go Xavier again.
Give me a T for tackle, C for
Not
center.
there. But he'll go before we get him at 75. We could trade up. I'd like to go Leggett, but I don't want to spend 45.
Is Van Brand there still?
Huh?
He's saying is
Cedric Van Brand, is he still there?
Yeah,
Cedric Van Brand's going to be there. He'll be there around 75 too.
Run it for
so
center.
It's either we get a wide receiver here or we get Leggett at 75. Who's between here and Leggett, Chris, at wide receiver? Let's take another quick peek.
Go back to wide out.
Centers running things in the chat.
Corley, Polk, Roman Wilson.
It's a big drop off, man.
Corley's
That's what I'm
a
trying
guy I
to
like.
Man.
Leggett. I mean, I think this is the dude y'all better be watching. Malik Washington. I'm telling you.
Oh, yeah?
I'm telling you. He's 5'8". I see, but he's a pro. He runs pro routes. Dude's hands is like glue. He doesn't drop the ball. He's quick. I think he ran a 4.38. Yeah. He's true.
I actually got him on my sheet.
Steve Smith loves him. Steve Smith Jr. loves him. So
I know y'all having fun, but let's make a decision here.
Too bad we ain't got no picks. So it looks like if we're going by the chat, we got basically center running things. That's really what it looks like to me. So I suggest Zach Frazier here. Personally, if it was me, I would actually go Jordan Morgan here. But
hold on. Andre Barnes is talking about a small slot, man. You don't got no faith in Tyler Scott and them being able to develop him, because where Xavier Worthy's probably gone, I'm sure.
Yeah, 4-2-1 left in the first round, I believe.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Worthy. After you run a 4-2-1, bro, you're a first round wide receiver. About that simple. So he went towards the end of the first round.
I was gonna say we could trade, and instead of ask for their second, we could ask for 121. That would give us another pick, and we still might be able to get Worthy. I mean, not Worthy, but Leggett. And there are some centers.
Let me see this trade, please.
Well, this is we'd have to counter it. They're offering a 76, but if we swap out maybe the second for like 121, and we might even pick up a later one instead of giving them.
Hey, Jose, I like Tez Walker, man. By the way, Jose Sanchez.
Devontae Walker, yeah, I like him too.
Me too. Like if we don't get Leggett, that's a guy I'd be looking at. But
let's go ahead on something, man.
Yeah, I would just go with the center here, man. I think the depth is a requirement.
Zach Frazier, you good with it, Keith? Keith,
Yeah.
Are you good with
Yes.
Zach Frazier? All right.
I'm good. Yeah, I'm good.
Excuse me. All right, there went Jordan Morgan.
Right away. Yeah.
I'm starting to like Rook or Roll a lot.
Starting to. Rook is a dude, man.
He's a
See Andre
dude,
there,
man.
kids.
Say what?
Andre Barnes. Put Andre back up there.
There goes Leggett at 64, guys, and Peyton Wilson at 65.
There he is, kid.
That's
Andrew Barnes, why the heck would you draft a tackle here, kids? That's ridiculous. You can't draft a backup tackle over a really good rotational wide receiver player. And no, I wouldn't. I would want competition at the tackle position for Braxton regardless. Now we've got a fantastic situation by way of swing tackle. It's not a bad move. But if you look at the wide receivers that were available there, they're not any better than Xavier Legette. Did we lose Legette, Chris?
Yeah, he went at 64.
Oh,
let's finish this up, man, because I'm seeing us bleeding.
Tez Walker, bro.
Bleeding viewers.
Tez Walker.
Tez Walker.
Let's finish this up.
All right. Devontae Walker. Jatavion Sanders was sitting right there. He's a weapon.
So when's the next?
122. Renardo Green has jumped up.
And then what would we have after that?
That's probably about it.
That's it. The last pick.
And our draft is over. Thanks, Ryan Pauls.
It's his draft, not ours. We're just having fun here. So.
No, it's all ours. We own the Bears. He's not emotionally invested in the Bears as we are. It's just a job for him.
When we get out of this mock draft scenario, I'm going to talk about some different things here, man. I don't know that people's tuned into, but damn, we short-handed right now.
Hey, they want to swap one pick, give us 238. Want to do it?
Sure.
We need to hurry up and get this over, Chris. We bleed.
Well, look,
That's
for
what
it.
happens when you make the move you make.
Let's go, Jalen Wright. I'm just trying to get this done.
I'm drafting Malik Washington. We need another wide receiver.
All right, fine. Get your Malik.
All righty. Kyrie Jackson, Jonah Ellis.
Imagine our guy Peyton Wilson's going somewhere else, bro. We can't. I don't think we can pull this off, bro.
Peyton Wilson in this draft went at 65, right after Xavier Legette, two of my guys. All my dreams have been dashed, man.
Big time.
All those future Hall of Famers I would have drafted.
Man.
But who am
that boy good.
Hey, there's a guy right there, Luke McCaffrey.
That's who I'm staring at right now, hoping somehow he slips 100 picks.
He's gone. He's gone.
He's got to drop 100 slots, Luke.
Yeah, that's all.
Pipe dream.
Dallin Hooker, Colorado State. That's one of Deion's boys. No, that's Deion's at Colorado, isn't he? Tripping. All right, we got 238. Hey, Nomad, you want to run another one?
Nah, we good, man. Y'all have a little too much fun with this. That's you, Chris.
No, I do them in the privacy of my own home.
Well, you gotta read the room now. You gotta read the room.
I was joking, right?
I know that.
Oh, okay, I just want you to know. You should have read the room 10 minutes ago. Oh, man.
You right, Brian.
Man, honestly, y'all in the chat are hilarious, man. I love you guys. I just want to ask the chat one question while we're waiting to get to this final pick, and that is: have you guys ever seen Don Burr, Brad Holmes, and Jameer Gibb in the same chat room? Just figured I'd throw that out to you guys and ask a question. Let me know.
Make a quick pick, Chris.
All right, let's pick up Jawar Jordan. That's your guy.
What are you insinuating, kids?
I'm not me. I don't know. Nothing. I'm insinuating Spider-Man meme is what I'm insinuating.
Okay, it's over.
Not the insinuation.
All right, so what are we looking like, man? What do we end up with?
Don Burr, you're good, man.
Yeah,
I love you, Don.
Here we go.
Don Burr just got a nerve to get out from under that rock, man.
He ain't been under the rock.
Imagine he fell out from under the rock when Justin got traded. He fell out.
All right, so we end up with Caleb Williams, Jared Verse, Zach Frazier, Devontae Walker, Malik Washington, and Jawar Jordan. Who, yeah, yeah, I think we can do way better than that. But that's me and
I
my,
agree.
that's just how I feel about it. But
Oh well, we can do another one if you want.
we good, brother.
Sure.
Let's talk about this, man. Let's talk about this because here's I've been in the last 24 hours getting myself in the mindset of it's been a long time. I've been having Justin Fields on my mind the whole process and thinking about everything that we're going to do moving forward, the pieces that we're going to put together. It's all been wrapped around what we can do with Justin. Now that's changed. In the last 24 hours, I've had to divert my mind in a place that you know I wasn't ready to go, but here I am having and I will be honest. I have done some homework on Caleb Williams and Jaden Daniels before all this stuff happened. I did some, not to the extent that I started doing last night and today. And so what I want to talk about is the difference between the two, and is there a big difference? Um, One thing I would throw out there, and then we'll just talk about this quarterback first. Let's talk about the idea that I really think that they're going to take Caleb Williams with the first pick. I don't think that there's much of anything Washington can really offer right now to really sway them from doing that. However, the difference I think between Caleb Williams and Jaden Daniels is pro style offense and how pro style offense ready each one of those quarterbacks are. And I've said this multiple times. I think Jaden Daniels is more pro style ready. I think that's pretty clear. However, I would say this if we were talking about Justin. Um, Caleb Williams is more suited to do RPO stuff. And I think that with a new quarterback, I think you do best by kind of adapting to what that quarterback's strengths are. And so, if it's not him under center and doing play action like Waldron wants to do, I think he ought to adjust his dynamics to fit what Caleb does, and that's more RPO mesh stuff. And if you look at, and I'm gonna add this to the conversation because if you look at DeAndre Swift on tape, and all of his major runs come out of the RPO and the mesh concept. And so if you want to marry those two up and get the most out of them, I think you're going to have to run more RPO and mesh concepts if Caleb Williams is the guy. But I just want to throw that out there to you guys to see how you guys feel about that.
I don't. we're gonna see what kind of offense is built around either whoever the quarterback is. I agree with you only to a certain extent because I've seen this kid's. It's really got everything to do with his arm mechanics, the way that he releases that ball, lets it go. He's. I know you. I know you're sort of saying he's more RPO style quarterback. He can be a pocket guy too. Strictly, I'm not really worried about him. I'm worried about the organization. Like I wish I could say it differently. I'm just worried about the organization and their ability to nurture and develop a quarterback, regardless as to who it is. But in this specific case scenario, it's very likely to be Caleb Williams. And my hope is that his arm talent can win over the potential lack of development. I'm not so sure I can say that for everybody else. Like, even if Jaden Daniels is more pro style ready, I'm not sure he's going to be able to overcome Chicago Bears quarterback development. Keith, what do you think, bro?
Kids, I have to agree with you on one aspect of it, which is until they can prove to me that they can actually develop a quarterback, I get it. We went and got Shane Waldron, and he has a resume for
Has
doing
done it.
so.
He has a
But
track. He's got a track record.
Right. No, I'm with
But
you. But
organizationally,
you got to prove it to me. That's where I'm at with this. I felt a lot more safer with who we had, but since we're not going there anymore and we have made this pivot, what I think may happen is a sense where consistency comes into play with regard to Ryan Poles. I think the decision was made to evaluate everybody up to this point with or without medicals. I believe based off of who they have as their offensive coordinator and the type of offense that the Bears want to run, I would not be surprised if this pick is traded so that they can go and get Jaden Daniels. That's just me. But contrary to what I believe, due to the outside pressure, he probably will draft Caleb Williams. But it's going to really then come down to development because this young man has not been under center and the type of offense that Shane Waldron has run up to this point, unless he changes his whole scheme, is a lot of being under center. So it really comes down to, and kids, I'm going to stand beside you on this one, brother. They have got to prove that they can develop a quarterback organizationally as well as coaches. Can they get it done? We will find out.
Well, I know this is. It seems more like a curse than anything. You go to quarterbacks go to Chicago to die. I mean, is it coincidence or is it a curse? Or I'm not sure how much impact now or even ever that the organization has on a quarterback's development. Maybe the quarterback choosing. I think they've had an effect on who we chose at quarterback, but developing them, we just made some bad choices over the years. So I don't think it's a curse or anything like that. I think we've had this tendency to hire, first time head coaches, first time coordinators, and that's bit us. Now we got a guy in there that has some play calling experience. He's been an OC. He's done it before. So I'm thinking there shouldn't be anything standing in the way of us developing a good quarterback. I'm not sure what the organization has to do with the the front office. And I assume you're talking about ownership. Maybe picking the wrong guy, but the development I don't think falls on anybody but the coaches.
Chris,
I,
when you say picking the wrong guy, are you referring to offensive coordinator or
No, no, no,
quarterback?
no, no. I'm
Because
talking about quarterback. I'm talking about
development,
quarterback.
okay, well, you can't put all of that on the quarterback, my brother. I'm
Well,
sorry. The
I'm talking
mechanics and
both.
things like that, it's coaching.
I'm talking about both though. We've picked the wrong guy as far as picking the wrong quarterback, picking the wrong coaching. We've always got these first time OCs, first time head coaches. That's been a problem. So yeah, we've picked the wrong guy. We've never had the perfect combination of coaching and the right player, and that continues until we'll see what happens this time. But we've done the same thing we did the last time. We had a new regime come in with somebody else's quarterback. We went 1 year, brought in a a new coach, and then we changed out quarterbacks. We did the same thing with Justin. So
I,
same thing with Trubisky. You know,
Don't do the list, brother. The list is so long, bro.
it
The
is.
list is
I mean,
it's
we've had issues.
astronomically long.
When I think there was talk that uh, back when they selected Cade McNown, I think someone got overruled for that choice. And that's the things you look at the Panthers. With their Tepper, he made them take that seventh grader last year. I shouldn't say that about Bryce
I
Young.
do like the idea that they do. Be quite frank with you, him and Caleb talking about Waldron and Caleb do have history. What Andre Barnes is saying right there. I like that, man. Just having some kind of familiarity with the guy is definitely helpful. Looking at the history of the Bears and quarterbacks and receivers, if you looked at history, man, you get absolutely depressed and you need medication. I don't believe the history is a indicator of what's to happen in the future. I don't subscribe to that
Really?
because no, I don't. I think if you subscribe to that, man, I think you'll be a perennially depressed individual. I think I'm always going to be optimistic about what they can do moving forward. So their ails and ills of the past, these are different people. These are
I'm
different.
sorry.
You said
Like
perennially
Hold on,
depressed.
kid. Let me finish.
You said
Because
I'll
perennially
let you
depressed.
finish.
because I stand on something because you can't what the last group of people did and how that turned out yesterday, you can't really use that as a determining factor in what's going to happen today. These are completely different people. So for once, we may actually get it right.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
so I just don't subscribe to that, bro.
The Cubs did win a World Series 7
Exactly.
short years ago.
I mean, damn.
They were cursed too.
You gotta look forward, man.
No.
After 101 years.
Yeah, they won one.
They say, Daddy, don't you know that things go in cycles? Ways of Bobby Brown is just amping like Michael. Things continue to go in cycles. History does tell you how to manage and manipulate the future. Studying history gives you that knowledge, gives you that understanding of how to divert and not repeat the same things and create cycles like the one that we're living in as Bears fans and have been living in as Bears fans for decades. So, this is why I was sitting here saying, yeah, I totally believe it because I'm living in it and I've watched it and we're stuck in it again. But I'm hoping to God, hold on. I'm hoping this is where we might be in this cycle. All right. If we look at the New England Patriots of old, before, like when Tom Brady came in, it's a bit of a similar situation. He had to sit around, wait behind a guy. In this case, we got rid of our guy. Tom Brady came in, had a team around him, won with that team, was able to take that team pretty deep. In this scenario, Caleb has the opportunity to basically do similar things as to what Tom did in that season, except, again, he will be thrown to the wolves and will have to get there more or less on his own volition. Hopefully he can. And I'm all for him doing it. Once more, this organization has never, not once, successfully pulled this trick off.
What I'm saying to you is, I understand cycles well, man. Just in my line of work, my profession, I had to. And I'll be upfront and honest with you guys, man. I grew up around my uncles were my brothers growing up. I grew up with my grandmother for until I was about 11 or 12. And in that time,
I thought you was from West Virginia.
Come on, man. I'm trying to do this. Come on, man. Won't do that. I'm trying to make a point here. What I'm saying is, in that time, I watched different. I have got like 5, 6 uncles, man. They're like my big brothers, and they some of them became abusive, very abusive towards women, and and those are the people I looked up to. And you talking about cycles, you know what I mean? They saw different things when they were growing up, and they became part of that cycle. What I'm saying to you is, I never became that. Never, ever will I be that guy. And what I'm telling you guys is, kids, is those cycles can be broken. All it takes is one situation, one group of guys to come in there and change everything. And that's just the optimism in life that I have, that I don't ever have to become, or I don't ever have to just subscribe to what I saw before me. So that's my argument, is cycles can be broken. And I'm willing to give them an opportunity to break that cycle.
I agree with that. Cycles can be broken. You have to, and like you have to learn from them and divert from them and make effective change. The evidence of this off season so far, I haven't seen that. They retained the coach. They did all the same stuff they always do. They retained the coach. They fired they got rid of the quarterback, and they're going to draft a new quarterback. This is exactly how Justin Fields got here the last time. They kept Matt Nagy. They got rid of Mitch Trubisky, and we were lucky enough to trade up and get ourselves a quarterback in that draft. In this case, we happen to hold the number one, and we can draft a quarterback. But the cycle is identical.
Look at Billy.
Never
Ocean.
had the right OC when we had Cutler.
Look at
Never
Billy
had the
Ocean
right
here.
OC.
Look at Billy Ocean here. The Bulls were bummed before Jordan showed up.
That's true, and they've
been bummed since he left.
But look what we're doing, though. Look what we're doing, guys. Look what we're doing. We're putting the Michael Jordan mantle on this kid, and that's worrisome too.
Well,
I really hope he is Michael Jordan, but I don't expect him to be.
This is why we need to trade some picks, because look, face it, the Bulls were still bums with Jordan. They didn't become non-bums until they got Scottie Pippen. And
they had to build a
Jackson.
team around Michael Jordan too,
and
right?
Horace Grant.
They were bums with Jordan. People forget about the first 7 years.
I don't.
I want to ask you guys a straight up question. This is straight up men to men, straight up out of your gut. Is there reason to be optimistic this year?
Oh,
absolutely. Like Don't get me wrong, guys. Don't get me wrong. If this kid is what people say he is, and from what I've seen again mechanically, if he does not require an excessive or even an iota of the amount of coaching that Justin Fields required to get the job done, the team that they've built around him could be very successful this coming season. And even more so next season when, again, we go through another offseason and draft. So I'm optimistic of where this can go. We've never had a quarterback of the caliber of Caleb Williams, period. So the sky is the limit here. I'm just hoping that this actually does work out this time. So there is optimism there. There's a lot of it.
Keith, what you thinking, man?
Optimistic? Absolutely. I've always believed in optimism, so I'll never pivot from that. You should be optimistic. Me personally, based off of what I've seen, and I've watched every quarterback that's coming out this particular draft, along with previous drafts. There's some things to be excited about, but then there are also some things to be, a little pessimistic about, But again, it's gonna come down to the coaching. That's the common denominator. The talent is there. The talent has been there. The talent is going to be there. It's about coaching. They, they got to get it right, guys. I mean, look, in business, and you've heard this saying, you keep doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. But the thing is, you keep getting the same result. That's insanity. So we have to find out. And I'm really banking on Shane Waldron, man. I really am. And I think that, and I'm hoping that they do get it right for the sake of this fan base and everything that they've put behind this, the energy behind this kid and Caleb Williams, man. And again, it has nothing to do with his talent. I believe, and I've seen it for myself, the kid is talented. Something that this organization is not prepared for is, besides the coaching aspect, are they prepared for a young man to come in with the personality associated with it? And I'm not saying it in a bad way. Michael Jordan became the Michael Jordan when he was a Bull. He didn't come in that guy. This kid is coming into an organization deemed that guy. So can the organization harness that and coach that to get them to the greater heights in the NFL, which is the Super Bowl, which is, before we even get to the Super Bowl, get into the playoffs and then compete for a Super Bowl. That's my biggest concern. Can the organization harness that, and are they equipped to handle a guy like a Caleb Williams?
What I would tell,
very well said. Very well said.
In response to that, what I will say is I was high on this coaching staff before the Justin Fields trade happened. I'm not going to back off of that. I'm high on them now. I do believe they brought a bunch of teachers in here. I do believe they brought, I'll say in particular, Thomas Brown is very, when I say very, very exciting, I'm excited to know that he's in the building because the next question I'm going to ask is, where are Flus and where are Poles under these circumstances? And our, word is that they've got to be successful this year or they're on the hot seat. But I am excited about this coaching staff. And I was excited when Justin was predicted to be the quarterback and we were predicting he would be. I was excited about him then, and I'm going to still be excited about him now. I do believe there's a lot of reason to be optimistic about what they have going on, regardless of the Justin situation. But we're going to pivot to, where, because Flus is, I think if I'm Flus, this is the biggest gamble and biggest risk of my career. You had a known. You had a known in Justin Fields. You know what you were getting. It's a guy you spent your time with and developed, and a little bit of development that you did do with him. You were comfortable with that, and you felt good about the gains that we made at the end of last season. That is gone now. That is gone now. Now it's about put up or shut up for Flus, I believe, and for Poles. But am I on my own in that thought? Because I really believe, maybe not Poles so much, but I believe Flus more than anything else. He is on the hot seat right now. They have got to deliver because wins and losses get blamed on quarterbacks and coaches. Period. Period. Point blank. Whether it's fair or unfair, I think Flus, he's got to get this team to deliver right away.
Oh, he has no other recourse, right? So that win-loss record is truly a coaching statistic more so than it is anything else, right? Like it's not a quarterback statistic, it's a coaching statistic. So yeah, he lived through a tank, he got brought back, here we are. I believe he has to produce this season in order to extend his life as the Chicago Bears head coach. I feel a little bit less so about Poles. As I've said on this podcast before, I believe Ryan Poles was probably given a longer than 4-year initial contract. That's just my thoughts because he had to tell George McCaskey to his face for this job, look, I gotta flush this entire roster. That's going to take a solid year. 1 year of my job is basically a wash. And that also works for the team. Now, having a conversation and wherewithal like that, he may have had a similar conversation with Matt Eberflus, which may mean this as well. Perhaps Matt Eberflus will be retained again after this season on the hottest of possible seats there could be. If this season is a down season, which it could be again, just with a rookie quarterback, it could be theoretically. I doubt it because the roster. I think we have a playoff caliber roster, and that's not my expectation. But I think we have a playoff caliber roster, almost regardless as to who is under center. So hopefully the kid doesn't struggle very much, and we can continue down that path if we can. Eberflus keeps his job, Poles keeps his job, and we're off to 2025 really with the foundation of something really cool that we can build on. And this is where optimism comes into play. But there's obviously the exact opposite of that. If it don't work, if they don't make the playoffs, somebody's likely got to answer for it. And I think that somebody's going to be Matt Eberflus.
Well, you know what? On this one, kids, I'm going to say this. If Flus is on the hot seat, he was placed on the hot seat by his GM because his GM had the opportunity to let him go as well and just start fresh with a whole new coaching staff. He chose to stick with Flus, and now he's made this pivot with regard to his quarterback as well. So with that being said, any hot seat that Flus is on was put there, and he was put on that hot seat by his GM.
Right.
So, I say that to say this. If they haven't definitely decided on their quarterback being Mr. Williams, then truth be told, they got to believe that they can get to the playoffs. So it's playoff or bust at this point. I don't want to hear anything about tempering expectations. You don't get that pass at this point because you have decided that this young man who has been deemed generational by different outlets. With that being said, and because you're hanging your hat on the fact that Mr. Poles, you were once at Kansas City and was a part of the decision to bring in Mr. Mahomes, then you're feeling this strongly about Mr. Williams coming into this organization, and you're not giving him a year to sit like Mr. Mahomes had. It's got to be playoff or bust. If that's the case, then not only is Flus on the hot seat, Poles has placed himself on the hot seat. So with that, we can't continue to give passes to one and not the other, hold one accountable and use one as an scapegoat. We got to cut that out. Either you're going to put all your chips into the middle and say your bet is on this one here, you choosing this particular number, and it is what it is. Again, you deal with the fallout based on the actual results, plain and simple.
Well, I'm gonna be fair, man, because I'm not saying you guys aren't. Either way it go, we're gonna get a rookie quarterback. Either way you cut it, either way you cut it, we're gonna get a rookie quarterback. If Justin was coming in here as a rookie quarterback, I'd be the same way. What I'm saying is, under the circumstances we presented ourselves with the gains that we made last year going into the off season, we were looking pretty good, beating some pretty good teams, and you know, I want to say everything you guys are saying, and I think that they put that expectation on themselves. I'm just going to talk about the quarterback position in itself. I'm curious about what they do up front. I'm not sure. I was dead set on Braxton Jones. I think he should be a swing tackle, and I think they ought to draft a tackle. That's just my opinion. And also, just the fact that he's a rookie, man. I got to take exception to being just absolutely hard on him. I'm not going to be like that towards him because he's a rookie, and I know rookies go through things, and regardless of what Caleb Williams' issues are, who I think is going to be the draftee, I think we ought to just take it easy on the young fella. I know he's supposed to be generational, as reported, but at the same time, he's a rookie, and you got to be even-handed when you come with the criticism because he is a rookie, and that's just how I feel about the situation. But let's do this because here's another important dynamic to the situation: the backlash in the locker room if they don't start winning early. I think there's a possibility that if that thread starts to kind of show itself, it can kind of come loose. And I think just my experience in locker rooms and knowing what that is and the dynamic inside there, all it takes is a little bit, two or three games in a row, you're not winning and it's looking bad, man. Especially if the quarterback is not making good decisions and things like that, and being the reason why, because we got a few veterans on this team that want to win right now and came here expecting to win right now. That can hurry up if the leadership isn't correct in that locker room, and things could get, a little undone in there. Anybody?
Yeah, I'm a little bit less worried about the locker room. Like I'm worried about those guys right now and how they may be taking, the loss of their offensive leader. But in my mind, they will find new leadership. So I'm like, it's going to be a bit of a blow for the first little while. But I'm under the impression that a guy like Keenan Allen comes in a veteran capacity and starts to provide a little bit of supplementary leadership. And I'm sure there's others. Like the offense is going to be a bit wonky just by way of leadership, but that's all I'll say. That's all I'll say there. On the other side of the ball, you got guys like Montez Sweat. You got guys like Jalen Johnson, who we decided to retain. They all understand it's a business. There will definitely be some hard feelings here, but I think they'll get over it relatively quickly and get on with the season. But as far as what you were saying about holding the quarterback responsible in those, in a situation where it's a down season, I don't hold the quarterback responsible at all. It's not his fault. He's a rookie. Like I say, if anybody's going to be on the hot seat, it's likely going to be Matt Eberflus. Probably should be Ryan Poles, as per what Keith is saying. But my thoughts is I heavily believe Ryan Poles is safe come hell or high water, regardless as to what happens at the end of this season for sure. Like that's what I think.
Keith?
Well, I'm gonna say this, man. Kids, you're right. First of all, let me say this. I'm not concerned with the leadership in the locker room. They're professionals. So they know what it is now. What is this, March? So they got more than ample time to wrap their minds around what's going on, okay? But with regard to if in the event that is if it's a down season, I'm going to be very honest. The way this roster has been constructed for this coming season, it's not constructed for a down season. So I say that to mean this. Although he's a rookie, with the amount of exposure and all the hype behind him, I get it. He's a rookie, but you can't keep giving passes. If he's coming with this cachet, no, let me finish. If he's coming with this level of cachet and he's carrying himself with the bravado that I'm that dude, then you're going to have to be that dude. Now, I get it. You may stumble along the way, that dude, but in the end, you're going to have to carry this roster, man, because it was constructed to win now. And win now means more than 7 games this coming season. This
Keith,
win now means playoffs.
Keith, you're a little bit
Go ahead,
bitter,
no
man.
man.
You gotta be willing to admit that, man.
I'm
You're a
not
little
bitter,
bit
bro. I'm not bitter.
that's just unfair, bro. That's unfair.
All
You
right,
know that.
bro. That's business, man. When you go out and get
I
a new
feel the same
CEO
way
because
you
your
do.
previous CEO wasn't doing the job, you expect the new CEO to get it done. That's business.
This is like, wow, that's that. From a business only perspective, I can't argue with that. Again, you fire the old employee, you bring the new employee in. The expectations are the same. You're expected to. If Justin Fields is expected to go to the playoffs this season, the
Man, come
new
on, man.
employee would be
I'm
expected
not
to
bitter.
go there too. Now, no, you are bitter though. Like this, this is where I have a problem with it.
I'm a
This
butt
is
in
where I have
real quick. So if
Go.
Mac Jones can make the playoffs his rookie season with only Hunter Henry as a good target to throw to, there's no reason that Caleb Williams can't make the playoffs with DJ Moore and Keenan Allen, 2,000-yard receivers. I think playoffs isn't an unrealistic expectation at all. All right, dude out.
Dude is out. So, like, dude, I hear where both of you guys are coming from, and I heard what I just said. Even then, I'm going to be completely fair and honest here. I'm not going to hold Caleb Williams to those standards. Like, I was just reading in the chat here, and I can't remember who it was who was saying it, but they were saying if Caleb Williams doesn't have a better season than CJ Stroud, then it was a mistake. And I'm like, guys, this is the cycle, guys. That's the cycle we fall into. So now we put all of the expectations on the rookie quarterback. Rookie quarterback must be the next Michael Jordan for the city of Chicago. And that's a load of horse patooey. Like, I don't know what else to tell you. He's not going to, like, let me back up and rephrase. There's a possibility that the sun may shine on a dog's butt once in a blue moon. That is a possibility. In this scenario, it is possible that Caleb Williams may be the next football Superman or the first football Superman in Chicago Bears history. I'm not going to hold him to Superman standards because that's just not fair. It's not fair to anybody. So I'm going to give the kid a chance, give him the ability to do what he's got to do. Win, lose, or fail, I'm going to back the kid. But win, lose, or fail, I'm definitely going to put the onus on the people who brought him here and were tasked with coaching him. Matt Eberflus and Ryan Poles. That's where I believe, not the blame, but the blame for a down season should squarely fall on Matt Eberflus.
There's a side of me that absolutely agrees with what Chris says. I mean, not Chris, but Keith says. And everybody in the chat seems to agree with Keith, man. And I understand it.
Wow.
We just lost a very beloved quarterback and somebody that excited this fan base to levels that we haven't seen in a long time. And naturally, when that's gone, your natural reaction is a little bit of vitriol, and that's still with me right now. And I'm not saying that that's the reason why Keith said what he said. I think what he says is valid and it has juice. I'm saying to you guys that I don't know how fair that is to a rookie. That's all I'm doing. I'm just saying for a rookie quarterback, it's still a rookie quarterback. I don't care how good he is. He's still a damn rookie. And we just got to remember that. You know what I mean? I do expect him to come in here and really shine. I do. But when he falls off and he has a problem, several problems, we just got to remember he's a rookie. And at the end of the day, that's it. It's not that you giving him a pass or any of that. You just got to remember the fact he's a rookie. Period. Go ahead, Keith.
Bro. Sorry, I'm just saying, like, you're right. I'm just flying through the chat here, and they've clearly forgotten he's a rookie already. There's a lot of expectations on this kid. Like, there's a lot of expectations on him, and I don't think that's cool at all. I'm not telling y'all how to fan the way you want to fan. Expectations, real, like, again, you get fired from your job. They bring in the next guy. He should hold the same expectations that you held when you got let go. He just took over your responsibilities. The responsibilities are thus the same. So you can't hold him to that exact same that exact same metric if you want to. I know I personally won't. I'm going to give him a little bit of leeway and the ability to grow.
No, don't get me wrong. I'm gonna be hard on him. I'm gonna be hard on him. But when it's reasonable, you know what I'm saying? When it's reasonable, I'm just gonna always keep myself with the reminder that this is a rookie, man. That's all. But I'm gonna be hard on him. Trust me.
I'm not. He gets basically whoever the rookie they decide gets passed for this year for me. That's it. They got to pass to get the ability to grow. Because in my mind, that kid should be sitting behind another quarterback. That's where we go wrong. That's why Jordan Love is a viable quarterback in the NFL today. It ain't because of who he is or where he was drafted. It's because he had the opportunity to sit down and figure out how to play the NFL game for 3 years. That's why he's good. Just like the rest of these guys who had the opportunity to sit, figure things out. We throw this guy to the wolves, and we wonder why he ain't Superman.
Do you see the scenario? Do you see the scenario thus far where he's going to have the? Come on, man! What was it 3 games before people got crazy and forced Justin Fields on the field? Come on, man! We know realistically that ain't gonna happen, kids. Not in today's world. It's just not gonna happen.
But like he was forced on. Like just let's talk about that. He was forced on the field in a situation where Matt Nagy was absolutely adamant that he didn't want to put him on the field. And then Matt Nagy did what? What did Matt Nagy do? He said, you guys know everything. You guys know so much. All right, I'll put him out there with no protection and see what happens. Oh, man, this kid getting his head knocked off. Myles Garrett just eating him for lunch. Yeah, we just leave him out there. You guys know so much. Yeah, you guys know. You guys knew to put him out there. He's real protected, ain't he? You got no chips, nothing. He's getting eaten by the wolves out there. We threw him to the wolves. Wolves ate him. And it really benefited his career, right? That benefited his career. Come on now. I'm just saying the obvious things. If it's obvious that they're going to throw these kids out to the wolves and have them have problems out there, then just keep doing it and keep recycling through quarterbacks. Or look over at Wisconsin for a minute.
It's not that you're not. It's not that you're wrong. It's not that you're wrong. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm saying that realistically, in today's age, with all the social media and the outside pressures that organizations have to deal with, and it's gonna get wicked crazy if they try to. I don't even see Caleb Williams being willing to sit on the sidelines. And
oh no, he'd be up in arms. Like, let's be real about that. He's got an ego on him. I'm sure he'd be up in arms. He wants
to sit there and watch.
He wants to start, but if it was me, if I was the GM, I'd go spend some money on a Ryan Tannehill, and I'm not saying Ryan Tannehill's good. I just throw a guy in there for this season. I just throw a guy in there. Let this kid, if this is my future, let this kid learn how to play the position.
It is the right way to go about business, kids. It is the right way to go about business. I'm just talking about 2024. It's different now.
It is. It's unfortunate.
Yes, it is. Go ahead, Keith.
But this is the cycle.
Well, you're talking about the right way about business, okay? But then let's talk about that. The right way about business, then, if you're talking about learning, competition, development, then you could have still drafted your quarterback and kept the current one. And let them both duke it out.
They could have
but
done
they
that.
didn't.
Maybe.
So again, the difference between the drafting of Justin Fields and what he stepped into, and the difference between Caleb Williams and what he made, and potentially what he's going to be drafted into, is one had a plan to develop a quarterback and let him sit a year. That didn't work for them because the primary quarterback went down with an injury, and he didn't want to put in Nick Foles, and got forced to put in the rookie who had 0 snaps during training camp or even in practice. He wasn't even running the scout team. He was literally standing on the sideline learning. In this case, there appears to be a plan. And again, with the cachet attached to this young man and the bravado that he walks around with, I get it. He's a rookie. And we can throw that word around all we want. But again, this is business. They are professionals. They're getting paid millions of dollars to perform. And if he's being thrust into that position to have to perform, yeah, we understand being a rookie, he's going to stumble. He's going to have some hiccups. But with that being said, based on how this roster is being constructed, it's playoffs or bust. I hate to say that, and I'm not attaching bust to Caleb. I'm attaching bust to the plan, not
But
Caleb. I'm going to give
unfortunately,
Caleb that bit of a pass, and I'm and with regard to my passion about this, because have been in a position where you get hired into a role based off of what the previous did not do and what's expected of you, is where that passion comes from. It's not vitriol. It's not bitter. It's fact. He's being put into a position. Unfortunately for him, he's having to walk into these shoes. Caleb's not asking for it. This is what he's being put into. Therefore, those are shoes that must be filled. Now the question is, can he fill those shoes?
here's
I,
what
sorry, Nomad. I just want to throw a monkey wrench into Keith's analogy, and it's like
Go ahead, bro.
if you're being brought into that scenario as that second employee and the expectations are on your shoulders. Did you go through onboarding? Did they prepare you? Did they prepare you for those expectations?
Don't go
Did they
there,
give you
bro.
any? Did they
No,
give you
we
any
can't go there.
training? Because if they didn't give you any
No,
training and that
no,
expectation is
no,
on your shoulders,
no, kids, they
you're
didn't.
very likely being set up to fail.
Kids, your onboarding is you go over and you know what your benefits are. But you come in because of your resume, and your resume says that you can step into the role and perform that role. It has nothing to do with somebody mentoring you and then handing the role over to you. You're placed in that role based on your resume, and based on
No.
your resume says that you can do that job. Therefore, go out
Yeah.
and do the job.
But hold on a second. So my resume says that I can sell and I'm a very technical individual. It doesn't mean from a technical perspective that I understand your solution. I need to be trained. I need to understand what you do in order to sell it. And you know what I'm saying? Like somebody needs to tell me what your AI solution is all about so that I can articulate it properly. If I don't
That's
know,
called
I'm winning.
OTAs and training camp, my brother. That's OTAs and training camp. He will get an opportunity to
Two
have that.
months,
But
just like everybody else. I
hey,
don't think
brother,
that's quite
that's what it
enough
is.
for the guy. But
It
hold
may
on,
not
I don't
it
think
may
that's
not be,
enough.
but based on the business that they're in, that's what he's going to be given. Now he'll be
I don't
trained
think
along
that's
the way
enough
as
for
the season
anybody.
goes on, but it's way the roster's constructed, kids. They're expecting this young man to take them into the
And
playoffs.
that's
It's
that's
just
my
that
problem.
simple. And it's not
That's
and I'm not saying that it's fair to him, kids. Understand what I'm
it's not
saying. I'm not
it's not
saying that
fair.
it's fair to him. What I'm saying is that's the expectations that's coming along based on the previous employee and the current resume. That's what it is, and that's what's expected of him. And unfortunately, in business today in 2024, you're thrown into the fire, regardless of what the business is, whether it's professional sports or whether it's corporate America. You're thrown into the fire and expected to figure it out along the way. And that's what's expected of this young man.
how
Is
about
it
this?
fair to him? No.
How about this, man? I believe this. I believe this. Um, quite frankly, quite frankly, the whole situation is set up to basically he does have to deliver right away. Quite frankly, because what they gave away in the trends that were happening is the opportunity to really get to what we're talking about and get into the playoffs. They traded that away for a rookie to do the same thing. And that's what we expect. That's what the fans expect. They expect him to go out there and put us in the playoffs and perform. The truth about it is he's a rookie, and I don't know how I feel about that, man, because he is a rookie, because I know what comes with that. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, man, you know, sometimes, life is just not, it's just unfair. Your expectations are unfair, man. What's right and what's wrong. I think in a regular situation that wasn't this one in Chicago, after a Justin Fields trade, a beloved player here, I don't know that we're having this conversation, because it'd be easy. Give the rookie some time, let him adjust. But I don't believe in my mind that he will be given that. I think the light's going to be bright, and it's going to be on him, and it's going to be fast. And if he doesn't perform, I think it's going to be a ripple effect. I think inside the locker room and all the way up into the front offices, quite frankly. And that's just the truth about it. No matter how I feel about it, no matter how Keith crackheads or anybody else feels about it, that's probably what's going to happen. As unfair as it might sound, that's what's going to happen, man. They're going to put those expectations on that kid, and he's going to have to deliver. Plain and simple. I just let you know about what I thought about fairness. That's just me in my heart and what I know is true about the situation. Got to be fair, but this ain't going to be that. I'm quite honest and pretty frank about that. This ain't going to be fair. This is not going to be fair. He's going to be expected to perform, quite frankly. And that's unfortunate for him, man, because you better be everything that you're billed to be. Because if you're not, you're going to face a whole bunch of scrutiny. And so is the coaching staff. So is the general manager. That's just the God's honest truth about the situation, period. And so before we get out of here, man, let's go and give some pleasantries before we wrap this thing up.
It's like a cycle. Some will go home, some will go in, do a bit and come back, do the same you-know-what again. Here we are once more, No Maniacs. Expectations are high. We have ourselves a new quarterback coming into Chicago. Can't wait to see who Ryan Poles really settles on. I expect it to be Caleb Williams. It could be any number of quarterbacks, considering this is a pretty decent class. You guys have been amazing, sticking it out with us, showing us love, support, getting your victory laps on in the chat and biting back and fighting back. It's actually really awesome and cool to see all of your opinions here today. And yesterday, and throughout this whole off season. This channel's grown a lot, and we appreciate your likes, shares, and subscribes. Definitely tell a friend about the Nomad Network and what we're trying to do here. Really, just bringing some truth and bringing that fan perspective back to Chicago Bears football. And in any event, I'm excited. I'm optimistic. I hope that this all works out. But again, things are starting to look very cyclical to this guy. And I really hoped that Ryan Poles was the guy who would break that cycle.
Go ahead, Keith.
No Maniacs, I want to say thank you again for chiming in and hanging out with us for these past 2 hours. It means a lot. It lets us know that you guys are just as passionate about this team as we are. It's been amazing tonight to see all the spirited debate within the chat, along with on the panel here. This just proves again that, there's no right or wrong. Essentially, we're all free thinkers, and we are allowed to have our own thoughts. We may not always agree. We may not always say what the other one wants to hear. But in the end, we do love that C on our chest, that Bear logo. So we're going to go ahead and support this team and this roster and the new quarterback, whoever it is. But it appears it's going to be Mr. Williams. And with that, we're going to rally behind him and wish him the utmost success. As Bears fans, as No Maniacs, and here on the panel, we're going to do just that as well. To Nomad, to Kids, Nick, Chris in the back. Hey, as always, it's always great chopping it up with you guys and talking about Bear football. And I just say this. Don't take my passion for anything other than that. I do want to see whoever is under center be extremely successful. I just hate the way it was done because I know because of the way it's done, there's some expectations that's coming that I just hope that they can harness what needs to be harnessed so that he, along with the organization, can be successful this coming season. With that, I'm going to pass it off to Nomad. Hey, guys, everybody have a very safe and blessed week as well. And remember this, you're blessed to be a blessing. Be a blessing to
Nomad.
someone.
Yo, before you jump out, I just want to give one final shout out to my son. My son Styles Lepage just committed to the University of Calgary here in Canada.
His name
He'll be at Styles Lepage. He'll be the starting defensive end for the Calgary Dinos as of this coming 2024 season. I'm super stoked. My family's super happy. We're also very emotional because, I don't live in Calgary. I don't live in Alberta. My son's basically off on his own, and it'll be a different world for us as a family moving forward. I want to thank all of his coaches, for helping him get to where he got to earn that scholarship and move forward to what he's going to do in the future, to get the education that he's earned. Thank you to all those guys. Son, I'm super proud of you, bro. Bear down, do it for daddy.
Just for the record, and Chris, if you want to come in and do a shout out if you want to. If not, you stay back in the background. But Styles, I'll give you a little piece of advice, man. The key to success: don't let nobody outwork you. The next man, just don't let him outwork you. When he's resting, you get to work, and you'll see the success that you're looking for. Shout out to Styles, man. Hey, I'm praying for you, sending you good vibes, man. Just remember that. Don't let nobody outwork you, and you will get to where you want to go.
I don't.
Yeah, congrats to
kids,
kids and his family,
congratulations.
man.
Yes.
Yeah,
Thank you, bro.
To my guys on the panel, man, it's always good to chop it up with you guys. Everybody in the chat, thank you guys for staying here with us, supporting us. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share, and turn on your notifications because you never know when we're going to pop up with some breaking news, guys. So with that, hey, we better bear down.
And thank you guys, No Maniacs, man. I know it's a trying time. I know it's hard to get yourself up and ready to go do a Bears podcast under the circumstances. Most of us, we felt a certain way about Justin Fields, and him not being here all of a sudden was a crushing blow. You know what I mean? And I'm still dealing with that wound. But guess what? We're the Nomad Network, and we got to perform for you guys, man. And we got to constantly keep bringing what we need to bring to you guys. And under the circumstances, we have to pivot. And Justin Fields is no longer on the team. He's a Pittsburgh Steeler, and quite possibly, we're probably going to be looking at Caleb Williams as our starting quarterback come game one. And so what do we do as fans? What do we do? Bears fans are like none I've ever seen. I've seen quite a few fan bases in my life. This is different, man. One thing I know we'll do is we'll rally around ours. I know that, and I know it's just raw right now, and it's very, very, it's a bitter feeling. I feel it. I'm still bitter, but I'm going to tell you guys this: this too shall pass. This too shall pass, and we just got to find a way to, just put some kind of energy behind, just being optimistic about it all. I'm just that kind of person, and I will just always preach that message. Just be optimistic and just dig in, man. And hopefully things will go the way we want them to go, man. That's just all I can say about the whole situation. But I do appreciate you guys. Do not forget to hit your notification bell. If you have not, please hit that like button to the show. And if you're a new person to the network and you want to become part of the Nomad Network family, hit the subscribe, man. It's not that hard. It's painless. It don't cost you nothing. So all those people out there that might not know that subscribing to a YouTube channel costs you absolutely nothing. You'd be surprised who doesn't know that. And so I'm saying that one more time. They're subscribing to a channel costs you absolutely nothing. And what you're doing by doing that with us is you showing love and support to people that produce this content. We work hard. And so every subscription counts. Every last one of them. We appreciate all of them. And so before we get out of here, man, love you guys so much for showing up and showing out in this chat, and all the people that are listening to this pod on an audio platform or whatever platform that you're using. Thank you guys for being supportive of us. We love you. This is going to get better. This too shall pass. And we're going to stay no maniacs no matter what. And so with that being said, I just got to leave you guys with these famous words. Love, peace, and hair grease, y'all.
Bear down. Yeah.